Hello and welcome to Diabetes Connections in the News. I'm Stacey Simms, and every other Friday, I bring you a short episode with the top diabetes stories and headlines happening now. Our top story this week, a 42-year-old man who has lived most of his life with type 1 has become the first human to receive a transplant of genetically modified insulin-producing cells. This marks the first pancreatic cell transplant in a human to sidestep the need for immunosuppressant drugs. The Swedish researcher who helped develop the procedure said, "This is the most exciting moment of my scientific career." This procedure uses the gene editing technique CRISPR to discourage the autoimmune attack on the donor cells. Before the transplant, the man had no measurable naturally produced insulin, but within 12 weeks, his levels rose slightly on their own after meals, showing the new beta cells were releasing some insulin in response to glucose. This is very preliminary. One participant, long-term monitoring is needed to confirm it's safe before they can offer it to more people. And he is not off insulin entirely. He still needed injections. Exciting stuff, and we'll keep watching. A new study showing that children of moms with gestational diabetes or dads with type 2 have a higher chance of developing type 1 than kids whose parents don't have any kind of diabetes. This study found that children whose mothers had gestational diabetes were 94% more likely to develop type 1 compared to children of moms without. Similarly, having a father with type 2, 77% higher risk. This follows another study, which was really a meta-analysis back in 2019 in China that found gestational diabetes was linked to a 66% higher risk of type 1 in children. Now, this one includes more than twice as many studies. These researchers say several mechanisms may be at play here. Could be lifestyle and eating habits, but they really think that high blood sugar levels may be causing biological changes in parents that could increase the kid's risk of developing type 1. The authors suggest that high blood sugar during pregnancy may stress the fetus's insulin-producing beta cells, and high blood sugar in fathers with type 2 could cause changes in their sperm, which could somehow influence their kid's risk of developing type 1. A lot more study is needed here. Can a CGM help you lose weight? The company Signos is banking on it. They just got FDA approval for their system, which uses the over-the-counter Dexcom Stelo. The claim here is that the system will help track how food choices, activity, stress, and sleep can all affect metabolism. Signos also works in partnership with the digital nutrition counseling startup Nourish. It currently offers a quarterly subscription plan, including 6 CGM sensors for $139 per month. And they tell you don't take any medical action based on their input without consulting a physician. T1D is a free mobile app that helps you calculate insulin doses, track daily data, and share insights with healthcare providers. It was pulled off the market with similar apps a few years ago, but it's back and it's FDA approved. Drew Mendelow created the app after his diagnosis at age 13. He came on the show last year. I'm going to link his story up in the show notes. All these stories are at diabetes-connections.com. Just click on this episode's homepage. T1D is now FDA cleared as a Class 2 medical device. It's the first over-the-counter insulin calculator cleared for people age 2 and up, and it will be live in the App Store and Google Play by October. Metformin has been the standard treatment for type 2 for more than 6 decades, but scientists still do not fully understand how it works. A team from Baylor College of Medicine now has identified an unexpected factor, the brain. They discovered that metformin's ability to lower blood sugar at clinically relevant doses depends on suppressing a small protein called RAP1 in a particular region of the brain. These researchers say this changes how they think about metformin. It's not just working in the liver or the gut. They also found the brain reacts to much lower levels of the medication. And it looks like GLP-1 pills continue to move ahead in the research. Lilly says its version helped overweight adults with type 2 lose 10% of their body weight and lower A1C. Just 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how the same drug in people without diabetes had less than the stellar expected results. Orforglipron is a pill that's a lot easier to manufacture and package than the injectable drugs we're always talking about like Zepbound or Wegovy. In this study, 72 weeks with people with type 2, those who received the highest dose of orforglipron shed 10% of their weight, and they lowered their A1C as well. The patients on the lowest dose lost 5% of their weight. An intervention that combined a low-calorie Mediterranean diet and exercise led to less diabetes in older adults. Men had a greater diabetes risk reduction with the intervention than women. This study was based in Spain, and interestingly, they go out of their way to say the diet may not be as easy to adhere to in the United States. The diet focuses on a high intake of plant-based foods, moderate consumption of fish, poultry, and dairy, optional red wine, low intake of red meat and sweets. Common foods include extra virgin olive oil, nuts, whole grains. The researchers want to make sure to point out that people in the study got extra virgin olive oil to support adherence and retention, but in the United States, those prices have nearly doubled. In their accompanying editorial, they say also the large number of dietitian contacts during the study may prove difficult to scale broadly in the U.S., given challenges with healthcare access and reimbursement. A group of Canadian researchers has identified an unexpected way to lower blood sugar and protect the liver by capturing a little-known fuel produced by gut bacteria before it enters the body and causes harm. Scientists have discovered a molecule generated by gut microbes that can cross into the bloodstream, where it drives the liver to overproduce glucose and fat. So they are designing a method to trap this molecule in the gut before it reaches circulation. They have achieved, quote, striking improvements in blood sugar regulation and fatty liver disease in obese mice. Dexcom is going to lay off 350 workers, with nearly 200 of them in San Diego. This is according to the San Diego Union Tribune. The bulk of the local jobs are focused on Dexcom operations and manufacturing. The article says this follows cutbacks to Verily. That's a subsidiary of Alphabet, Google's corporate parent. Verily's work included a project with Dexcom. A representative for Verily confirmed that they have made the difficult decision to discontinue manufacturing medical devices and will no longer be supporting them going forward. And some front office changes at Insulet. Eric Benjamin, former Chief Product and Consumer Experience Officer, will take the role of COO, Chief Operating Officer, effective immediately. Manoj Raghunandan goes to the position of Chief Growth Officer, leading Insulet's new growth organization. These appointments come after their new CEO outlined 4 priorities for Insulet in August, enhancing the company's commercial capabilities, building Insulet's brand and direct-to-consumer capabilities, driving growth outside of the U.S., and accelerating the pace of innovation. I want to take a minute to highlight the Children's Diabetes Foundation in Colorado. They held a medal ceremony recently for patients of the Barbara Davis Center who have lived with type 1 for 50 years or more. And there were 87 medal recipients in the ceremony, including Dana Davis. She's the executive director of CDF and the daughter of the founders of the Barbara Davis Center. And she said, quote, "When you got type 1 diabetes in the 70s, they thought you shouldn't have children. They thought you weren't going to live past 30 or 40. It was definitely very different." And that is in the news for this week. If you like it, please share it. I'm Stacey Simms. I'll see you back here soon. Until then, be kind to yourself.
Diabetes Connections is a production of Stacey Simms Media. All rights reserved, all wrongs avenged.